back to front, it penetrated.
That's what she said.
And The Flash, issue 793, is written by Jeremy Adams, with pencils by Roger Cruz, inks by Wellington Diaz, with colors by Luis Guerrero, and letters by Rob Lee. And this issue begins with the Flash family talking with the guy that Kid Flash and Impulse rescued from the previous issue, who informs them of how the Fraction taps into the Speed Force individually, which actually comes from an orb they wear on their chest. They then conclude that the spire must be the antenna where the signal to receive the Speed Force energy comes from, and it's decided that they need to take out the spire, of which the best way to do that is to empower Wally's car with the Speed Force, effectively turning it into a bomb. Once the car is completed, they then begin breaking into teams, of which they tell Irie that she needs to stay behind to protect the other heroes and her brother, whom are still frozen in time. She reluctantly agrees, and thus Team Flash initiates the plan where Jay, Max, Wallace, and Bart create a diversion while Wally drives the vehicle into the tower with the assistance of Jesse and Linda. However, things quickly go awry as Vel Anthro stabs Jay Garrick from behind and manages to surround the team of speedsters. Irie hears someone break into Terrific Tech only to discover Miss Murder, who she now has to face alone, and Wally, along with the car, vanishes. And after reading this issue, there is, without a doubt, one single burning question in the back of my mind. What's this guy's name? But for real, there was some great things about this issue. For one, we get some additional information of how exactly the Fraction manages to tap into the Speed Force. We knew that the tower had something to do with it, but now specifically that not only is it basically one antenna just sending out the little wave transmissions of Speed Force energy to all of the Fraction soldiers, but it's going directly into an orb that they wear on their chest, which means if they manage to break the orbs, then those Fraction soldiers will no longer have access to the Speed Force, which means they should also become frozen in time. And I also like the added information of, even though the Flash team is in hyper time, of why they can still, go at these faster speeds. And that is because they are natural speedsters. Their speed is organic, so even though they've been pushed into hyper time, they're not, quote unquote powerless. The Speed Force is just propelling them to go even faster in order to compensate. Which, as it's pointed out in the issue, still gives them a really big advantage because the Fraction soldiers, they aren't really seen to be running at super speed, no bolts of lightning behind them, which means even in hyper time, it's still like effectively normal dudes against people that can outrun them. And wow, you know what? I'll also say this book was full of lots of really great moments. Like Irie reading Jay's favorite comic book to him in hopes that he can hear her and that, this is some comfort to him. Which leads into Jesse Quick then comforting Irie, trying to tell her, hey, everything is going to be okay. Hashtag Flash Girls Forever. And then the scene where Irie's being told that she has to stay behind and protect everybody because they can't let the Fraction get their hands on the world's greatest hero, to which Irie responds that her dad is the world's greatest hero. Oh my god, it's so sweet. I love it! Even Linda walking with, damn it, what is his name? But she's walking with the guy and he sees that she's obviously pregnant. And he asks her, aren't you worried about the baby? And Linda's response is that in a way, the baby's more so protecting her. Because the baby is most likely the one that's, connected to the Speed Force and giving mommy her superpowers. Because that Speed Force is gonna make sure it gives mommy every advantage possible. Just careful out there on the battlefield, Linda. And then the scene where Wally is trying to comfort Barry to some degree, even though it's basically impossible. I mean, at least as the story is right now, Iris is dead. And we also learned that even though Iris proposed to Barry, Barry was also going to propose to Iris that same night. That's like a double punch in the gut. But it is nice that Wally is able to sympathize with him because even though he has his family right now, just a short time ago, he didn't have his family. And it's also reminding Barry that, Iris was my aunt too. She was my family. So, in a very big way, this also makes you my family. And it was just very sweet because it's like, you still have us, Barry. You still have a family. And oh yeah, Jay got Jay got stabbed from behind. Is he gonna be okay? I mean, it was like an energy spear, but still, I mean, it's from back to front, it penetrated.
That's what she said.
Because even back when this event initially kicked off, I did have to wonder, based on, you know, the dialogue and all that, if Jay was actually going to make it through this alive, which I hope he does, because I'm not ready for there to be a world without Jay Garrick. You know, it's like grandma's apple pie at this point. You can't get rid of him. He's Grandpa Jay. But it's not all doom and gloom, because there were also parts of this book that made me laugh. Starting with Barry walking into his speed lab, and Wally has effectively trashed it. Because it was back in the Flash 783 where, you know, Wally and Kid Flash, aka Wallace, aka Ace, they were hanging out, and it's, you know, Wally's doing his thing, and Wallace is like, yeah, Barry's not gonna like you trashing his speed lab, like, at all. And it turned out that he was absolutely right, because Barry's eyes are widened, and he's freaking out, because it's like, bro, I mean, I left you my lab, was, you know, you just turned it into a mechanic shop, effectively. And also, the sheer intrigue that follows what I am currently dubbing the Flashmobile, because we now see that Wally was able to, you know, power his car up with the Speed Force so he can drive it, and it's a very fast car now, which, you know, when you stitch like this entire issue together, really does make it feel like the Fast and the Furious featuring the Flash family. But seeing that car supercharged with the Speed Force and just zipping down the line, that was pretty cool. And I especially enjoyed the sequence where they were working on said car while Irie and Jesse were going out and destroying fraction tanks, which can only mean one thing: montage.
That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us a passage of time. We're gonna need a montage.
And at the end of this issue, I caught myself wondering, is Jay going to be okay? How will Irie fend off Miss Murder? Where did Wally go? And what is his name? So overall, it's another fun and engaging issue that brings us one step closer to the finish line. And with that, I'm going to give The Flash issue 793 a 9 out of 10. So The Flash issue 793, what did you think about this book if you've read it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.